Hello, welcome back to the Domestic Violence Awareness Series. Today we are going to be talking about Episode 3, Emotional Abuse. Today we're going to be really looking into what emotional abuse looks like, what it does to the victim, and unlike physical abuse, it doesn't leave any visible scars, but the scars are still there, but we can't see them on the outside. They are in the victim's heart, in the victim's mind, in the victim's soul. The impact of this abuse is just as devastating as physical abuse. So when an abuser uses emotional abuse, it's part of the power and control that he is trying to take from you. It will take form of belittling the victim, manipulating the victim, and eventually it will start chipping away at the victim's self-esteem, self-confidence, and it will start creating a dependency on the abuser because the victim will then start doubting their own reality. So what kind of forms does emotional abuse take on? It can be gaslighting, making somebody doubt their perception, their memories, their thoughts, their sanity. Gaslighting will leave the victim feeling confused and questioning their reality. It can also take form in constant criticism, where the victim is regularly being belittled, humiliated, made fun of their appearance, their intelligence. The abuser can say things like, "You are just so stupid, you can't do anything right. No one else would ever want you. If you leave me, you're going to be all alone." Isolation is also another way of controlling who the victim sees, where they go, or what they do. A good example is if the victim wants to go out after work, hang out with friends, or wants to go visit family, the abuser will give them a really hard time about that. They will start accusing the victim of cheating every single time they go out. Then silent treatment is when the abuser starts withholding affection. They use their silence as an emotional distance between the victim and the abuser to punish the victim for not listening, for not agreeing with him, for not doing as he said. Blame shifting is another form of this abuse. The abuser can do something and turn around and blame the victim for it. For example, let's say that dinner isn't ready. When he gets home from work, he'll yell at you, he'll call you names, he'll insult you, he can get physical with you. In return, and instead of taking responsibility for his behavior, he will say to the victim, "If you hadn't made me angry, I would have never hit you. I would have never yelled at you. I would have never called you names." The impact of emotional abuse will slowly deteriorate your self-esteem, your self-trust, your self-confidence, overall your reality. The victim may experience anxiety, depression, emotional numbness, always feeling hypervigilant, such as walking on eggshells around him, trying to make herself invisible so she avoids making the abuser upset. So how do we recognize this emotional abuse? It should start early on, which can be difficult to do because the first thing that the abuser is going to do is groom the victim by manipulating, putting on this mask of who he really is. He will be very charming. He will be really sweet. He will give you the world if he could. Flowers. He's always going to want to be with you. He can't stay away from you because if he does, he feels like he's just going to lose it because he's so in love with you. And in the beginning, victims can feel charmed by it, right? He must really love me. He always wants to be with me. He must really love me. He's always buying me flowers. He's always taking time to talk to me. He never lets me drive by myself. He always wants to know where I am. He's tracking me on his phone to know my every move, my every location. because he wants me to be safe. Eventually, the victim can start feeling drained, depressed, anxious, overwhelmed, stressed after interacting with the abuser. The victim can find herself apologizing often for things that were really not her fault. So how can we heal? How can we avoid this? Again, it might not be easy because we're being groomed, but if we can go ahead and we can kind of take a moment without putting all our feelings into this one person and really kind of stepping back and reflecting on what the relationship is really looking like, asking yourself, is he authentic? Is he genuine? Or is there something else going on? And remind yourself that you are worthy of love, you are worthy of respect, you are worthy of peace, and that your voice matters. The moment that your voice starts being silenced should be a red flag. The moment that only the abuser is able to make decisions, it could be what restaurants you go to, what you're going to eat at the restaurant, always being aware as you're going into relationships, into these new relationships, and really understanding what the red flags are and how to avoid from being a victim. So recognizing emotional abuse, understanding the impact that it has on the victim, seek professional help when needed. There are local domestic violence hotlines if you feel that you are in the need of support. There's also the National Domestic Violence Hotline, and I will make sure to leave that information in the comments below. And remember that transformation in our lives begins with awareness, and every step toward healing is an act of courage. You're not alone. And with this, we end our podcast, or we end our episode on emotional abuse. Stay tuned for the next one. Stay safe, love yourself, and don't forget your self-care.